What if I told you you're not who you think you are? That many of your beliefs, reactions, and even your memories aren't real? Not because you're broken, but because you're human. Because right now, you are living in a carefully crafted simulation. Not digital, but psychological. Your brain doesn't show you truth. It shows you shortcuts. It paints over your vision. It fills in blanks. And then, it convinces you that it's all real. In this video, we're going to uncover the 7 psychological illusions that most people are trapped in without even knowing. These illusions shape your self-worth, your decisions, your memories, your emotions, and even your relationships. Most people will never break out of them, but if you stay until the end of this video, you won't be one of them. Because once you see the invisible walls, you can walk right through them. This isn't psychology class. This is your awakening. Let's begin. 1. The spotlight effect. You think they're watching, they're not. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt exposed? You fix your hair, straighten your clothes, you become hyper-aware of your walk, your face, your voice, and you think they notice that mistake. They're laughing at me. They must be judging me. This is the spotlight effect, the illusion that you are the center of everyone's attention. But here's the truth. Everyone else is thinking the same thing. Everyone is under their own spotlight. Psychologically, your brain overestimates how much others are observing and evaluating you. It's a survival mechanism, a relic from tribal times when being noticed could mean danger or death. But in modern life, it becomes a trap. You hesitate, you shrink, you overthink, you don't apply, you don't speak, you don't live, because of an illusion that no one else is even part of. Want freedom? Step out of the spotlight, because it was never real to begin with. 2. The false consensus bias. You think your opinion is common. It's not. You believe most people agree with you, because how could they not? Your ideas make sense to you. Your values feel right. Your worldview feels obvious. But here's the twist. Everyone thinks that, and that's the false consensus bias. The illusion that your beliefs are more widespread than they actually are. This illusion makes you feel validated, safe, supported, but it also makes you less open, less curious, less humble. You don't ask, you assume, you don't explore, you defend, you don't learn, you preach, you build echo chambers. And then you're shocked when someone disagrees. Truth doesn't need consensus, and consensus doesn't make something true. The moment you realize your mind is just one lens among billions, you start seeing people not as threats, but as mirrors. Different mirrors, reflecting truths you can't see on your own. 3. The illusion of transparency. You think they can read your mind. They can't. You're nervous. Your hands are shaking. Your heart is racing. You're sweating. You think everyone sees it. They know I'm scared. I'm so obvious. But to them, you're just there. Maybe quiet, maybe serious, but not broken, not exposed. This is the illusion of transparency. The belief that your internal state is leaking out for all to see. But humans are horrible mind readers. And most people are too busy worrying about how they are being perceived to notice your internal chaos. This illusion traps you in anxiety. It amplifies self-consciousness. It convinces you to apologize for emotions no one even noticed. Let this be your release. They don't see you the way you fear. They barely see you at all. And that's liberating, because it means you can feel without shame and move without fear. 4. Your brain rewrites memories. You trust your past, but your past has changed. You remember that conversation, that betrayal, that beautiful moment, that pain. It feels vivid, certain, burned into your memory. But here's what your brain doesn't tell you. Every time you recall a memory, you rewrite it. Neuroscience calls this reconsolidation. It means memories aren't stored. They're rebuilt, like clay reshaped every time you touch them. And here's the terrifying part. You don't know you've changed it, so you keep trusting it. That argument from years ago, you may have changed the words, added tone, removed context. You created a new version of the truth and filed it as fact. Your past isn't a photograph. It's a painting that you've repainted 100 times. So next time you cling to a memory, ask, is this what happened? Or is this what I've made it into? Because your pain might be real, but its story might be fiction. 5. Most thoughts aren't yours. You think, but mostly you repeat. Look around your mind. The thoughts about money, success, relationships, self-worth, spirituality, where did they come from? A parent, a commercial, a teacher, a trauma? We absorb more than we realize. And then we forget the source, and one day we mistake a borrowed thought for our own. This illusion is the root of unconscious living. You think you're choosing, but you're repeating. You think you're logical, but you're conditioned. To awaken, you must track your thoughts, interrogate them, question them. And when you find one that feels heavy, painful, or limiting, ask, who gave me this? And do I still want to carry it? Freedom isn't adding more thoughts. It's removing the ones that don't belong to you. 6. You trust repetition more than truth. What's repeated feels real, even if it's a lie, a slogan, a headline, a belief. Repeat it enough times, and the human brain begins to trust it, even if it's absurd, even if it's false, even if it's harmful. This is the illusory truth effect, a cousin of propaganda, advertising, and internalized shame. Your brain confuses familiarity with truth. That's why the same lie told by 10 people becomes common knowledge. That's why you believe what you've heard the most, not what you've tested. And here's where it gets dangerous. You may be repeating things that limit you, over and over, until your mind stops resisting and simply accepts. To awaken is to interrupt the loop. When you hear yourself think something painful, pause and ask, is this truth or just repetition? Because the real poison isn't one lie, it's hearing the lie until it becomes your identity. 7. Your brain literally fills in blind spots. You see wholeness, but parts are missing. In every eye, there's a blind spot, a hole in your vision where the optic nerve exits, but you never see a black dot. Why? Because your brain fills in the missing information. It guesses, it invents. And then it tells you, this is reality. This is metaphorical too. Every day you move through life with emotional blind spots. Things you don't want to see, truths you're not ready for, wounds you haven't faced. And what does your brain do? It patches the gaps. It fills the pain with distraction. It replaces awareness with illusion. You think you're seeing clearly, but your perception is stitched together with assumptions. If you want to see truth, you must find your blind spots, not with eyes, but with awareness. Ask, what am I not willing to look at? That's where the light gets in. So here's the truth. Your brain is not a truth machine. It's a survival tool. It simplifies. It guesses. It filters. And it hides. It hides pain. It hides fear. It hides the fact that most of your thoughts, your feelings, your memories are shaped by forces you never chose. But now you've seen them. The spotlight that never existed. The false agreement you assumed. The lies you repeat because they feel familiar. The borrowed thoughts you call your own. The memories you edited. The inner tremors no one ever noticed. The blind spots dressed up as reality. You've seen them all. And now, you get to choose. You can go back to illusion, back to comfort, back to autopilot. Or you can walk forward into awareness, into a mind that questions, into a life that you actually chose. Because truth doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. And now that you've heard it, you'll never unhear it again.